let's speak to Josh Golin. He's the executive director of Fair Play, which works to protect children online. He joins us from Vermont. Josh, first up, great having you. Second, what's the one approach to online child safety that actually works, but no one in Silicon Valley wants to talk about? So far, we only have laws and advertising campaigns, but is there something we're not discussing here?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is what's called the safety by design approach, which requires companies to ensure that they are not designing to addict kids, that they are taking real efforts to ensure that their design is not leading to things like sextortion or cyberbullying or mental health harms. We know from internal documents at these companies that they are very aware of the impact of their design on children. And so holding them accountable for that design. And I think the really important thing is whether it's through private lawsuits or government regulation, that there are fines that are big enough that actually make these companies change what they're doing.
And Josh, tech companies keep adding parental controls that teens can actually bypass faster than adults can find the settings, right? Are these tools meaningful in any way, or they're just Band-Aids?
They're really Band-Aids, and what they're designed to do is to make it appear to regulators as if these companies are actually doing something. But, we also know from those internal documents that they make these parental controls as hard as possible to find and use. And if you think about the fact that most kids are using several platforms every day, asking parents to track kids across multiple platforms would essentially be a full-time job. My organization did a report over the summer where we looked at 47 safety features and parental tools that Meta has introduced in the last few years, and 2 out of 3 of those safety features and tools don't even work.
I want to pick up on something you just said. You and other critics say these algorithms, data harvesting, and there are several design tricks that are actually meant to hook kids, right? How do we stop treating symptoms instead of the disease?
Yeah, I think what we do is we have to go after that business model. And the business model is addict kids by any means possible, whether that means sending them down dangerous rabbit holes or putting in features that make them more vulnerable to predators. And so we need to hold companies accountable that are deliberately trying to addict kids. We need to limit the data that they are collecting in order to foster that addiction. And we need to hold them accountable for the design choices that make kids unsafe and make them feel desperate if they're not using their phones and not using social media. These are deliberate psychological tricks that they are using in order to hook our kids, and so we need to make them accountable for those tricks.
And is there, looking forward, is there a version of child-safe digital policy that doesn't rely on governments actually playing kind of a whack-a-mole game with apps?
Well, I think we absolutely need government intervention, and I think that safety by design approach that I mentioned earlier, along with heavy fines, so that it's right now when these companies get caught doing something, the amount of the fine is usually a lot less than the money that they're making off of kids by manipulating them and addicting them. So I think if you started to see fines that really hurt these companies' bottom lines, you would see changes in behaviors that would filter across the entire industry. Start by going after Meta and TikTok and Snap, and the other companies will follow suit.
Josh Golin, Executive Director at Fair Play, thanks for your time and insights. Great having you.
Thank you.